New year, new beginnings, right? Be honest, the holidays are over and that post-celebration lull can set in, making us feel maybe a little restless. Maybe your health isn't where you like it to be. Spark of joy and excitement is kind of missing from your daily routine, or you're just craving something different for this year. But before you strike out and overhaul your life or your diet, there are a few simple questions that you need to ask yourself to know the next right step for you in this new year. In today's video, I'm going to give you some simple questions to really think about before you make any changes. If you're new here, my name is Jenny Waters and I'm a habit nutrition coach for midlife women. I believe you deserve to feel amazing in this season of life so that you can live out the second act of your life on your terms. Remember growing up, we watched The Wizard of Oz as a little girl. It was fascinating to see it go from black and white to color as she landed in the land of Oz. No matter what challenges Dorothy faced, she always knew the next right step, and that was to follow the yellow brick road. We've all faced our own version of a tornado, disrupting our routines and making us feel lost. Wouldn't it be awesome to have our own yellow brick road to guide us? Forget what you're going to hear from the fitness and diet gurus. Today, we're creating your own personal roadmap for the new year. The first question is, what kind of woman do I want to be? By the end of this year, in 5 years, maybe 10 years down the road. Nailing down the answer to that. And don't give up when you think you say, I don't know. Keep going, keep digging to really come to the core of who you dream of being. James Clear from Atomic Habits says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. So who do you want to be? That's how we first need to guide what are the next right steps for you, because you want to know where you're going. Just like in a GPS, you have to know your starting point, but you also have to know the ending point. Dig deep. Spend a few days thinking about what kind of person you want to be. Do I want to be the kind of person who has lots of friends and a full social calendar? Do I want to be the kind of person who loves to exercise and feels amazing because I have so much energy? Do I want to be the kind of person who eats healthy because I love the way I feel? Do I want to be the kind of person that travels and has lots of adventures, constantly pushing myself a little bit out of my comfort zone? Do I want to be the kind of person that my family and friends look up to? I want to become the kind of person that uses my special talents to serve others? Do I want to be the kind of person whose house is always ready to welcome and entertain my family and friends? Another way to look at the kind of person you want to become is look to who you admire. Who are you scrolling on social media and saying, it must be nice, or I wish I could be like that? Before you let your negative self-talk tell you it's not possible for you, look at what you can do. What habits do they have that you could copy? I was lucky enough to have two great aunts that were kind of like my grandmothers, my great aunt Neely and my great aunt Joyce. They both lived into their 90s and were firecrackers till the last few years. And they are who I admire, and I want to be the older woman like they are. Who is inspiring you? What qualities do they have? These can be your guiding stars into really anchoring down that vision of what the kind of person you want to be. Leave me a comment below telling me who inspires you and why. Let's get some inspiration from each other. The next question comes kind of intuitively. Once you've nailed down what kind of person you want to be, who you admire, looking at the qualities of that kind of person, then you have to ask yourself, what habits does that kind of person do each day? What kind of habits do I wish I had easily locked in? I watched my great aunts garden and bike and really nurture their friendships, and were always ready to say yes to adventure. They didn't let their age determine what they did. So that is some of the habits that I'm trying to continually work on so that I can be that kind of woman when I get to my 80s and 90s. Maybe it's that adventurous traveler that you see. I have a good friend on Instagram, Brenda at Texas Over 50, and she's always looking for adventure in Texas. This past year, she went to all the Texas state parks because of their anniversary. She is always looking for little adventures right near her neighborhood, maybe a day trip away, or even bigger adventures. So I know that she's always looking for adventure. She's saving money so that she has the finances to do that, and she works on her health so that she has the stamina to take on those adventures. I also have another friend, Stacia, who's at Originally Southern on Instagram, and I love to see her creativity and how she pulls that out in life. So this year, I want to be a little more intentionally creative because as a former engineer, that's not natural to me. So a few things I've done is I bought a coloring book to play with while I'm watching TV. I have a watercolor set, and I'm going to continue to find ways to be creative because I've seen her do that, and those are some habits I want to copy. For that effortlessly healthy woman that I aspire to be, I always like to watch people just a few steps ahead of me. There's one lady at my gym who just turned 80 this year, and she keeps us all on our toes. Miss Edie is doing all the classes. She's lifting just as heavy as I am. I'm inspired by her because I see her showing up consistently and not letting age determine what she does. I want to be like that when I get to that age, so I've got to create those habits that she does. I see women that have made healthy eating just a natural part of their life. They don't worry about diets. They just know the right foods to nourish their body, and that's what I continuously practice. I'm always a work in progress. I'll fully admit that, but those are the habits. If I want to be that healthy woman in my 80s and 90s, that I've got to practice now to get there. As an aspiring entrepreneur, I look to my coach, Jan Ditchfield. She shows me the daily habits and routines that she's put in place to have a successful business, and how serving her customers lights her up and brings her joy in life. So I like to have her a few steps ahead of me to inspire my habits today to get where she is. As you're dialing in some of the habits of people you admire, some of the habits of the kind of person you want to become, I want you to shift your thinking about this. You're not picking habits to fix yourself. No one likes to be fixed. Look for ways to give yourself a better life. You know how much more fun it is to open gifts instead of punishing yourself on the treadmill for something that you ate. As you're picking those small, steady changes, you've got to build in that consistency. As I continue to tell you on this channel, consistency over intensity always wins. Something each day to become the woman that you want to be. And if building that consistency is something you struggle with a little, check the caption below because I have a couple resources available to you. So now that you know who you want to become, you've looked at some of those habits that that kind of person does, let's pick a few to start with. If you haven't been successful in the past on developing new habits, start with one. If maybe you've been a little successful, maybe you start with two. But I would definitely say no more than 3 tiny habit changes at a time to work on. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. We're really building in that consistency first before we tackle anything new. So I want you to dream big of what is possible in your life once you give yourself the gift of this consistent habit. What are the right first steps? I want you to trust your gut. You know that baby little change you need to make. Maybe you have an idea of a bigger change you're scared of. Dial it back. Choose that one little micro habit, and that's a tiny step in your own personal yellow brick road. Some beginner micro habits could be starting your day with 5-minute gratitude journaling. Or maybe it's going for a walk and talking about your dreams with a friend. Maybe it's swapping that afternoon candy bar for a handful of almonds and a piece of dark chocolate. Maybe it's put on your favorite dance song and dance it out like nobody's watching, just to remind yourself that exercise can be fun. Or make yourself a what sounds fun list. What sounds fun in this new year? Make you a big list and then each month pick a few to try. Whatever that micro habit is, you can't go wrong. Just build in that consistency. And it's okay if it doesn't fit right. Don't make yourself wrong. Just adjust the habit. Be that problem solver to get the next right habit. Because brick by brick, habit by habit, you're building your own yellow brick road. It won't be a straight sprint. Slowly but surely, you'll become the amazing woman that God created you to be. I want you to remember, just like Glinda the Good Witch told Dorothy, you had the power all along, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. Wherever you're starting this year, know that the next season of life doesn't have to be boring. As long as you're open to change and you take it one micro step at a time. And if you're tired of quitting on resolutions and yourself, you're going to want to watch this video where I show you a better way.